Welcome to the Self Storage Show, where I have conversations with my industry friends, talk with owners and vendors, and share tales about my management company, 3 Mile Storage. Let's go. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into the Self Storage Show. Hey, right at the top, I want to talk about something that's really valuable. You don't want to miss out on it. It's 3 Mile Domination. What this is they optimize your Google business profiles, okay? And we all know for self-storage, we live and die by our rentals. I guarantee you, if you don't have your profile optimized, you're losing out on rentals every single day. So go to 3miledomination.com. Right now, they are doing free audits of your profile. You'll see the big red button right there. Book your free audit right now. Book a time. We'll go through your Google profile optimization session in real time together, send you back reports, so you have an action plan. It's very valuable, okay? So again, go to 3miledomination.com and book your audit right now. Hi, everyone. This is Jim Ross with the Self Storage Show. We're going to continue our interview series. It's been going really well so far, so I'm gonna keep it going. It's kind of fun. Got Matthew Ricciardella with me. He's the managing partner and principal over at Crystal View Capital. How's it going, Matthew?
Doing well. How are you today, Jim?
Good. I appreciate you making the time when you're probably busy man. So I'm glad you can carve out some time and be able to do this with me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Glad to be with you here this morning.
If again, just kind of start things off, if you don't mind, is maybe give us a little cliff note version of who you are, kind of what you do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, be happy to. I started my career back in the self-storage industry, along with buying mobile home communities back in 2007, actually. So been in this industry for a good amount of time now. And the way I got started, I was a residential realtor prior to that, and kind of build my business up by phone prospecting. I would get on the phone and talk to owners on a daily basis, trying to list their properties for sale, and had a lot of success there. And then I kind of pivoted over to buying homes and flipping them. And that worked out well. And I followed kind of that same methodology of picking up the phone and finding owners of these properties and buying them from them. There was a very inefficient market at the time of what these homes were worth. This was pre-Zillow.
Gotcha.
And some of those other platforms. So, had some good success there, and then found two asset classes in particular that just noted kind of caught my eye because they produced a lot of free cash flow. And that's what I was after at that time. I was after financial freedom. And rather than the next deal depending on me and I had to find it, I had to put the resources in it to flip it.
Yeah.
Although I made money and made a nice spread, I wanted something that was a reoccurring cash flow that kind of came in no matter what I did. And again, these two property types, specifically on the storage side, just produced a lot of free cash flow. So I decided to really focus on that area. Went out there, and it's interesting, followed that same philosophy, picked up the phone, networked with these mom and pop owner operators, flew out, met them, heard their story, had dinner with them. And it really helped me build these relationships, because a lot of these folks that we buy from, it's not only who's going to pay the most, who's going to pay top dollar, but it's also about a bond and a relationship. People like to do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? And if you could position yourself as kind of checking those boxes, I think you're gonna do a lot of business. A lot of deals are gonna come your way, and sometimes you're gonna win deals where you don't even have to offer the most.
Hmm.
And we've done a lot of deals like that. So that's kind of how I built my career, and then found out this is a wonderful business. I was really onto something, and I really wanted to scale it, Jim. The problem was I had a very limited amount of capital. I was kind of bootstrapping deals and getting seller financing at the time, and just didn't have enough money to do the amount of opportunities that I saw out there. So I launched a fund, Crystal View Capital, back in 2014, and it went remarkably well. That first fund was dedicated to storage and mobile home parks, and we've actually sold off all of the assets. And our investor, at a fund level, it was about a 46% return (IRR) over a 6-year hold. And right now we're raising 200 million in equity capital for our fourth offering, and the strategy really remains the same. We've scaled, but It's the same as when I started way back back in '07.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, you found something that works. So yeah, rinse and repeat. That's what it sounds
Yeah, I mean,
like.
if it ain't broke, why fix it? And there's still a lot of runway here. There's still a lot of opportunity to find stuff that's undervalued, where there's a lot of upside. And if you've got a team and a discipline and a system to really go in there and increase value, kind of turn those knobs, whether it be increase rents, cut costs, build more units, whatever it may be, if you've got an eye for that, and a system and a team, of rock stars that are working with you on a daily basis, you could make a lot of money and create a lot of value for your partners. And that's what I enjoy doing.
Well, I think it'd be great if you don't mind, kind of a little peek under the hood of your operations. Can you kind of walk us through this a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. Which part exactly would you like to know
Let,
about?
let's kind of, I don't know, start at the beginning here a little bit. It's kind of identifying these properties first off.
Yeah. So, great question. I think a lot of value is generated right there, finding these off market opportunities. And what we're doing, it's interesting, because I'm very happy to share this. And people on my team would say, "Gosh, why are you telling everybody what you do?" And not to be brash or conceited about it, but I know I'm willing to share it because I know most won't do it, because it's just a lot of hard work and it's a lot of discipline. So here it is. You basically pick up the phone for 6 to 8 hours a day and have conversations and build rapport and relationships with folks. And when you do, you get on a plane and you go out there and you visit them and you hear their story. And we've got, by the way, it's not me doing this anymore. We've got 8 full-time people that I've trained meticulously on some of the methods that I would follow. And they're doing it, all day long. They're a great sales team, and they're working out of our database, which I created, going
Oh,
on 17 years now. So we're going directly to the source, building that rapport and putting offers in front of them and putting deals together.
what's I'm intrigued. What's that first phone call like? You're cold calling, obviously.
That's right.
First guys. Walk me through a little bit. What is that first phone call even like when they pick up the phone?
You're going to get a range of responses, honestly, Jim. Some folks, and I'll tell you some of them, some folks, they're very friendly, but they have no motivation and they'll keep you on the phone for 20 minutes. Other folks, they're very short. They could be rude, but they'll tell you the truth that they don't have any motivation and they'll hang up the phone. I actually prefer the latter, because this way we didn't waste a bunch of time.
Go on, yeah. On to the
Yeah,
next.
move on to the next one. This isn't personal. They're not seeing us. It's not like, hey, I don't like your shirt, or I don't like the way you combed your hair today. They just didn't want to sell.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a bad day. What have you? It makes no difference to us. What we're looking for is somebody that we could help, somebody that has true motivation, and somebody where it kind of checks our boxes. And our boxes are: is there value to be created there? Is it a certain size that's going to move the needle for the size of the fund? Is it in a geography that we want to be in? So if those boxes are checked, we're going to spend time with that person, and we want to be a solution to their issue. We want to be the best buyer out there, which we believe we are. And the goal is obviously putting that deal together.
Oh, that's fantastic. So if you check all the boxes and it looks like you're going to move to the next step. Well, what is the next step then?
Right. Right. So the next step, put a price out there, negotiate a deal, underwrite that deal and understand what you're getting into. What we do is we drill down into the marketplace. Is that market oversupplied?
Mhm.
Is it undersupplied? Where are the rents in the market? We call the comp set. We understand what's a 10 by 10, what's a 10 by 15, 10 by 20, what's parking go for. And we put together a market rate analysis. We have a marketing team that's doing that. And then we're looking at the subject property and saying, hey, are these rents at market? Are they below market? Are they above market? Preferably, we want them below market so we could grow them. We want a market that's undersupplied, so perhaps we could add more units. But the key is we're buying it at a price point which is based on the in-place NOI, not what could be, not based off pro forma.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you make money. A lot of brokers or sellers, they're going to sell you on the dream, right? Hey, you could bring your rents here, or you could add 200 more units, and this is where your new income is going to be. But you're taking on risk and a lot of unknowns. Our business is mitigating risk, so we want to buy stuff based off what it's worth today at a fair price, and then we have the foresight to see that value, and then we basically untap it and take that value out, and that's how we deliver the returns that we have for our investors.
Fantastic. Yeah, you brought up performance. I just have to chuckle because I love looking at some performers. You're like, you can make look anything look great on a spreadsheet. Well,
Well,
plug some
that's
numbers
just
in, it's like, that's great, but let's talk about real world here.
right. And that's just the thing. You bring up a good point. Brokers say all the time, how come you won't buy it? It's a 6.5 or 7 cap. Well, who makes that determination? You're running it at a 10 or 15% expense ratio. We both know that that's not the way that this property is going to operate. So, we're re-underwriting it and plugging in real numbers because we own in 26 different states. We know how these properties are going to operate, and we're plugging in true expense assumptions, true revenue growth assumptions, and we have a pretty comprehensive model. And once we're done with that, we know if that deal is going to work or not. If it does, we pursue it aggressively. If it doesn't, no big deal. It's on to the next one.
That's fantastic. So I guess as you're moving on and kind of going through the flow of these kind of deals, okay, now that you get the deal and you're stepping in, can you kind of give us a little bit of a insight as far as, some of these value add, kind of what you're doing when you first take over a property?
Yeah, be happy to. I mean, I think the key is identifying where that value is, and I'll give you various different examples. I think the easiest deal to do is you buy a property where the rents are grossly below market. We've done this many, many times. In fact, we have several deals under contract that kind of check that box. And you close on it, and you simply bring those rents to a market value or market level, and you create millions of dollars of value in that one process, and it happens within 30 to 60 days. I mean, I wish everything were that easy. They exist. You just have to work very hard in terms of deal volume and flow. And those deals, again, they do exist. It's just few and far between. What we're finding more now is you got to get a little creative. You've got to roll up your sleeves a little bit to create that value. So a lot of them lack a professional marketing plan or a program, so we'll implement that. Some of them, it's an undersupplied market where you could add more units. So we have a development team in-house. And what we'll do is we'll engage an engineer, and we'll, do the site work and start, pouring concrete pads and bringing in more units and erecting those units and renting them out. We've created lots of value that way. Sometimes the expenses are bloated, It's not uncommon for these mom and pops to have an entire family on payroll. You've got to kind of pare that cost back,
I've seen that.
Yeah, so sometimes the utilities aren't where they should be. So it's really having the foresight to identify where that value add is, and then having the ability to execute on the business plan to take that value out. And each property is a little bit different,
Everyone's different. I had a laugh about the owner and how and the people on payroll. Last week I was doing a walkthrough of the site that the owner was looking at, buying it, and we were doing.
Yeah.
I was talking with the current owner, and I'm like, "What are these 44 unrentables?" And it wasn't that large of a property. It's like, "Oh, that's Uncle Joe, and that's my cousin."
Yep.
It was all family stuff. I'm like, that's money you're just burning, right? There was like a total disconnect. I'm like, that's revenue you're just giving away. And of course, the guy that was behind it was like, he just saw dollar signs. So I'm like, all right, this is a good one.
That's what I was just going to say. When I hear that, and I see that a lot, that's
Yeah.
a great sign. That means that there's a lot of value there. We bought one right outside of St. Louis earlier this year, and there was, I think, more than 40 units, and they were filled up with like ATVs and all this different stuff. And I asked the owner, so what's the deal with these units? Oh, that's my stuff, or friends. I just let them use it for free. And I'm like, wow. I mean, we're going to go and basically take all of this stuff out, rent all these units out. I mean, I think it resulted in another $4,000 a month in income. I mean,
That's great.
you annualize that, you got, close to another $50,000 of NOI.
Good. Yeah, I love when you have low hanging fruit like that.
Yeah,
That's an easy lever to flip. Those are great.
absolutely. Absolutely.
At the start of the conversation, you mentioned about a fund that you have going on. Is that
Yeah.
like an internal thing? Do you have is it outside investors that can invest in this? Can you tell a little about that?
Well, yeah, sure, be happy to. I mean, that's really the premise of Crystal View. It's basically we're set up as a private equity real estate fund, and what we do, and this is our fourth offering, by the way. The returns that we've delivered to our investors have typically been an 8% preferred return. So that's kind of like a cash on cash,
Yeah.
which ranges honestly from 8 to 10 plus on an annual basis. And then investors get a share of that upside. So as an example, on our fourth offering, they're getting an 8% preferred return. And then depending on how much they invest, they're either getting 60 to 80% of the upside on all of the deals collectively.
Yeah.
So as opposed to a syndication where you're investing into one offering or one property, here you're investing into a blind pool fund, which buys all kinds of properties, both storage and manufactured housing. So you've got some diversification and in various different geographies. So you're getting further diversification and then in various different deals. So if one deal doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, if you're with a proven operator, it's highly probable that you're going to get cash on cash that you're looking for. And you're also going to get a really nice piece of the upside.
That's a great way to do it. You don't have all your eggs in one basket. That's okay. I like that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing my job. I mean, you're gracious enough to come on here and talk about it with your time. Can you give us more information?
Yeah.
If you want to reach out? How do they get in touch?
Yeah. So you could visit our website at www.crystalviewcapital.com. You could reach out to us at invest@crystalviewcapital.com. And we're happy to share our marketing materials with you, a PPM, an operating agreement, our marketing deck. I think the big takeaway here, Jim, is that this is a passive program for folks that like the benefits of owning commercial real estate, i.e. the depreciation, the cash flow, but don't like the hands-on aspect of it. Getting in there, dealing with problem tenants, flying around the country, filing tax returns, those type of things. And that's why a lot of our investors continue to reinvest with us after fund 1, 2, 3, and now 4. We have common investors that are very happy. Our returns are well in excess of the 20% mark on an internal rate of return, with nice coupon clipping coming along the way with that preferred return. So it's a good setup, and I put a lot of my own money into it, honestly, as a limited partner as well. So there's a strong alignment of interest between me and my partners, and they appreciate that.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's a great track record. You got a path to success that you've done over and over again. So no, I think that's fantastic. Well,
yeah, thank you.
Let's wrap this up. Again, it was great meeting you. We'll have to maybe do another conversation as things progress, but I appreciate it, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Whenever you want to have me back on, it's certainly a pleasure. I'd love to join you. And if you have any opportunities or want to run any questions by me, we're always available.
Sounds great. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim. Have a great day.
Before we wrap up, just a quick reminder. Do you want to level up your storage game? Visit theselfstorageshow.com. Grab some high-value freebies, check out top vendor spotlights, and stay in the loop with our newsletter. Do you want to chat about becoming a client with 3 Mile Storage Management? All the info's there. Plus, if you've got a story to share, we're listening. Everything you need is at theselfstorageshow.com.